Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing my very favorite video of the year. It is the Vinyl Tag 2020. There's so many great questions that allow us to delve through our collection and discuss records that otherwise may not get discussed. Anyway, there's a lot of ground to cover, so let me go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is our favorite vinyl find of 2019? And I had several. Here are some honorable mentions in the background. Here's another one. This is Buckingham Nicks. Very hard to find, but I was able to find a promo copy of it, so I was absolutely thrilled. My favorite of all, and it's a hard decision, but this is Led Zeppelin 2. This is the Robert Ludwig Hot Mix. This is my favorite album by Led Zeppelin. So I never really thought I would own the Hot Mix. It was a dream come true, and that is my favorite find of 2019. The next question is to show our favorite record from 2019 that came out, was released in 2019. I don't really have anything to show. I do like the album by Harry Styles called Fine Line, but I don't have it on vinyl, and to be honest, I don't even like it as well as his debut. So I'll just skip over that one and move on to the third question, and it is to show a novelty record. This is Walt Disney's The Fox and the Hound, and this was in a dollar bin one time. I have great memories of watching this movie with my daughter when she was little. So for $1, I just picked this little picture disc up. So Fox and the Hound, that's my novelty record. The next question is to show an album by a band paying homage to another band. And this is Kiss. This is their debut album. Kiss experts, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they really wanted to pay homage to the Beatles. They were huge Beatles fans. There's 4 members of this band. There were 4 members of the Beatles. I believe this debut album was something they wanted to resemble with the Beatles. So I believe that Kiss is paying homage to the Beatles with their debut album. The next question is to show a B-side or a deep cut. And this is a single that I had been looking for a very long time for my jukebox. I really love the song Take Me to the Top. This is Jump backed with Take Me to the Top. I have a really great memory of being at a concert for Loverboy when I was in high school with my very best friend. We were both huge fans of Take Me to the Top. We both absolutely loved that song. And with it being a deep cut or a B-side song, we really weren't sure if Loverboy would perform it. It was getting towards the end of the concert, and we had pretty much given up hope that they weren't going to play it when all of a sudden, boom, here it comes, and we go ape. So I'll never forget that. That was just a wonderful memory. And I had a hard time finding this single. I kept finding a promo copy of it that had Jump on the A and the B side. So finally I found Take Me to the Top as the B side. The next question is to show something funky. So I'm going to show something that I have enjoyed since I was a really little girl. This is a compilation album called Music Machine. There's a song on here called Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye. I absolutely love that song. I'm a huge fan, and that is my first funky song that I just really love. So Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye is my something funky. The next question of the vinyl tag, they want us to show what they call the strange bedfellows, records that are in order, in alphabetical order in your collection, but have nothing to do with one another, couldn't be more different. So let me start by showing Eddie Rabbitt. This is the greatest hits, and he was a wonderful country artist. The next records I'll show are Ratt. So when I'm looking through my record collection, I have Eddie Rabbitt. It goes into my 2 Ratt albums. And then Otis Redding. So I think between those 3 artists, you just couldn't get any more different. And those are some strange bedfellows in my vinyl collection. The next question was to show an album and a tour the band was on to promote the album. And I went to a Sean Cassidy concert when I was really little, but I don't really remember a lot about it. So this was my first concert that I was truly old enough to remember and have great memories of. And it is Huey, Lewis and the News, and they were promoting their album Sports, which was an absolute hit. And every song on here is really great. And that was a really good first concert for me. I had just become a teenager. So this was really a great album and a good concert and a great concert memory for me. The next question is to show an album that we would love to have an original copy of. So I'll show my reissue of Odessey and Oracle. I have shown this before. This is by the Zombies. This is my 30th anniversary copy, but I would love to have a first press on the date label. That's just an absolute dream come true for me, and someday I hope to have it. So that is my answer for that, Odessey and Oracle by the Zombies. The next question is to show a band that we have the complete discography of, and I'm so proud to say that I have the complete discography of the Beatles. And it's a little hard because I have all of the UK presses as well as all of the US presses, because in the US the albums were different than the ones in the UK. So you couldn't go wrong with anything by the Beatles, and I'm very happy to say that I own their complete discography. The next question, they wanted us to show a record label that we really like. And I'll show this band. I don't even want to pronounce the name because I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's a German prog rock band. This is a killer record, and I've heard this isn't even their best one. So I would love to find more. And it is on the German label called Brain. This is the only label I have of this. If I ever see another Brain label, I would probably do a blind buy, even if I don't know what the music is, because like I said, I really love this album and this band, and anything by the Brain label would probably be really good. The next question is to show an artist that was in a band who went on to become very, very famous. So I'll show, this is the 4th album by the Yardbirds. And a very young Jimmy Page was in this band, who went on to become a member of Led Zeppelin. Also, here are the Hassles. This was another 60s band, and if you look in the back here, it's Billy Joel, who of course went on to have a great solo career. The next question of the vinyl tag is to show a video or a rock-related book that you really like and would recommend. I've got a couple here. Let me show. One of them's really heavy. I just really recommend this if you can get it. It is the Beatles Anthology. It is chock full of wonderful pictures, just great information, a great read, and I really enjoyed it. My favorite autobiography that I've read by a rock star is Paul Stanley's Face the Music. And I realized that this is Paul Stanley's point of view, and that Ace and Peter and Gene may not agree with everything he says, but I found it very interesting, and I really did like hearing what he said. He was not someone who got consumed with drugs or addicted, so I really do believe he remembers most of the history, you know. So I really enjoyed reading this. I've read it a couple times, and I was able to go to a book signing. So he did sign this book for me, and like I said, I can't recommend this one enough. If you want to read the story of a rock star, and even if you're not a huge fan of Kiss, they have a very rich history. This is a great read. The next question was to show a record that's very underrated. So I'm going to show this. This is Van Halen's Balance. I love it. It's dark, but it's beautiful and it rocks. And I believe if it had came out 10 years before its time, 5 years before, it would have been a monster hit. Just bad timing, but a really, really great record. And I'm so happy to have the vinyl copy of that. The next question is to show a band that has a really good track record of making absolutely great albums. And I'm going to give the nod to Creedence Clearwater Revival. They have a great reputation. Every single album they put out up until Mardi Gras was absolutely solid, and they were putting out records, sometimes 2 a year, just absolutely incredible output. They were absolutely prolific, and they just never missed. So Creedence Clearwater Revival has a really great batting average of having really solid records. The next question is to show the same album that has 2 different covers. So I'm going to show my beat up version of Creatures of the Night. This is an absolutely great record. This is my 3rd favorite by Kiss. I absolutely love it. Here is the 1985 reissue, totally different. They even decided to put someone's butt on the back. I'm not really sure why, but this is a great album, and they went ahead and decided to do the reissue different than the original. I guess because they had already removed their makeup. They weren't putting on makeup anymore, and Ace Frehley was no longer in the band. So I guess they just decided to change the cover completely. The first album cover is totally iconic, but it's kind of cool to have this one as well. The next question is to show a record that you did not pay a lot of money for that has went up in value. And I'm going to show this one. This is Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart. Yes, I've got some ring wear on here, but this is an original on the straight label. I paid only $18 for it, and I know I could sell it for a lot more money. And the next one I'm going to show, I believe I saw on a video by Chris Has the Spins. He showed it, and he mentioned that it does go for quite some money. It's hard to find. And I was at an antique store, and I was looking through some Lawrence Welk records, and I came across this, and I paid $4 for it. It is Bobbie Gentry. This is an OG copy of the Delta Sweete. And I paid $4 for it, and on Discogs, the average it goes for is $40. It's when as high as $70. On eBay, they're asking even more, up to $100 for it. I don't see it very often, so when I saw it, I remembered what Chris had said. So thank you, Chris, at Chris Has the Spins, for giving me a heads up about this album. So the next record I'm going to show, the question is, who is your favorite drummer? And I'm going to show an artist, a drummer who's really, really great. I feel like, if anything, he is always in the shadow of his brother. So I want to give Alex Van Halen a shout out. I absolutely believe he is a really great drummer, but Eddie, of course, steals the show with his guitar playing. He is absolutely incredible, and he's my personal favorite. But you know what? I really think Alex does a really great job on drums. I love Hot for Teacher. He's powerful on Girl Gone Bad, and Everybody Wants Some. He does a killer job on that. He's just a really good drummer, and obviously he gets very overshadowed by his so popular and so talented brother Eddie. The next question is to show just a trilogy of records by a band that are really solid and great albums. So I'm going to start with this one. This is In Color by Cheap Trick, just a really great album. The next one was Heaven Tonight, another really solid album by Cheap Trick. And then they become hugely famous with their Live at Budokan album, just an incredible one. I'm even going to go a 4th one because this one's my very favorite, and it is Cheap Trick's Dream Police. This is their masterpiece in my opinion. This is my very favorite, but all of those albums are absolutely killer. And if you're a huge Cheap Trick fan, I recommend you check out the channel Almost Human. There's a guy named Ralph, and he's doing incredible videos. He's taking each one of the Cheap Trick albums and doing reviews. He shows, he gives a lot of information. He rates and talks about each one of the songs, as well as he also shows old footage of Cheap Trick that's very cool to watch. I would say his videos are PG-13, so don't sit your little children in front of the video camera to watch that one. But I really recommend Almost Human channel to watch more about Cheap Trick. And also, Ralph's just got a really great channel. So those are my picks for the 2020 vinyl tag. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Please subscribe and leave your comments. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.